Sure.
Event is starting. I'm going to assume that's usually about the time it likes to go live, even though it says it's starting. So we have like 4 or 5 seconds of me looking really stupid, staring at a camera, not saying anything.
Pretty
Hey,
standard.
hey guys, Tech Talk number 63, and Jerry has lost an incredible amount of weight and looks
That's right, guys.
surprisingly like Paul's Hardware.
I'm on the Nutrislim Gain Fast diet.
You're the Jared of Jerry.
Yeah. Basically, I have this white powdery substance, and I just eat it.
Oh, starting. I'm going to
That's
assume
all.
that's
That's
usually
all I
about the time it
consume
likes
these
to
days.
go live.
Dang it.
Sorry, guys, you're gonna hear a playback for a second there. I forgot to mute my stream.
Oops.
Hey, you would think never done this before. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and roll that intro there. I mean, we got some fun things to talk about tonight, and then we're just gonna do a lot of fan interaction because Jerry's gone, and we'll get a chance to talk. I say that because Jerry's watching. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
All right, intro time.
Wait, do we still sing during the intro?
Sorta.
It's TikTok.
You act like I've got this whole thing figured out. Anyway, Paul is enjoying a beer over there. I'm actually pouring some Hanger 24 Orange Wheat. It's one of my favorite beers there. Why are we enjoying a beer here, Paul?
We're celebrating.
The fact that Jerry's gone.
We're celebrating Jerry's trip to Chicago. Wait, that's where Jerry is, right? Chicago?
He is in the Windy City.
Yes, because we're really happy that he's there. So we're having a few drinks. We're also giving a nod to I finally, after much work and much support from all you guys out there, my YouTube channel hit 100,000 subscribers today. So I was like, woo, yeah.
Congratulations on that's like the milestone. I think all the numbers are fun to achieve. But I think, like, I told myself way back in the beginning, if I ever hit 100K, then I would consider that, like, success, I guess.
Yeah, it's good to finally be successful. That's
like Kyle said over at Awesome Sauce Network, congrats to the first 100K.
Kyle, you said?
Yeah, he on Twitter said, congrats to your first 100K, and I thought that was a very good point to make.
Is he one of those 5-figure YouTubers?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Now, to do this right, now that you're at 100K, you have to start the friendship subscription.
The friend, what's that?
That's where the money comes in. All the friends that you would talk to normally, now they have to subscribe to your friendship.
Ah, I see. So I get to charge for like phone calls and text messages, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and the people who you've been friends with for a while, you can kind of get them like an introductory rate. Something maybe a little off the top, make it a little easier on them.
I'm told that my ego should explode, so I'm kind of trying to work on that. I'm trying to be a dick to people.
Not you, Paul. Oh my God, you said a bad word. My entire world is upside down now.
Aren't you? You guys cuss on Tech Talk, don't you?
We do, and that's why people don't like us sometimes. Oh, you should be more professional than that, Jay.
Sorry about that. It must have been the beer talking. This is Rogue Hazelnut Brown Nectar, by the way.
One of the things I love about when I hang out with Paul and Logan, especially on these trips, is you guys always go in like the hunt of new beer. You're like, oh, let's go find something new, something we never drank before. Me, I'm like, I'm staying within my comfort zone. I'm just gonna get this. I'm gonna get this Hefeweizen. I'm happy.
Well, honestly, like naturally for me, I'm very I was raised with a very kind of narrow diet. Like I didn't expand. Like there's still a lot of types of foods and stuff that I don't eat very much, but I've tried to like expand a lot, and like when I see new food or something like that, just be like, I'll just try it, like whatever it happens to be, and I've found a lot of new things that I enjoy that way, which is cool, because anytime you find a new food that you're like, suddenly there's this new thing that I've never eaten before, and now I can eat it.
That scares me though. I'm always scared of new foods and drinks
Really?
and things. Well, I tend to be a little bit on the sensitive side.
Okay.
I'd be like, oh guys, that tasted really good, but I'll see you in a couple hours. I've got to go hit the head. So.
Well, what's something I discovered somewhat recently? Like samosas. You ever have a samosa?
No, I can't say that I have.
It's Indian food. I can't describe what it is, but I mean that's one of the things I've tried recently.
I've had mimosa.
Mimosas, also quite good.
Yep.
Although we're sticking to the beer today.
We are. But guys, yeah, definitely. If you guys have never seen Paul's Hardware or seen any of his previous stuff over on Newegg, where the heck have you been? What is so funny? What did I say that's funny over there?
My channel name's kind of a euphemism, and every once in a while it strikes me that it is.
Oh yeah, guys! If you've never seen Paul's Hardware, it is a sight to see.
Oh,
Let
yeah.
me tell you that. You get a couple beers and then a couple stouts or IPAs. His hardware's coming out. I just gotta say. If you guys have never seen Paul's Hardware,
there's so many
it's
places.
fun.
So many places you can go with that.
Paul's Hardware is everywhere. Yeah, definitely go check out his channel. I was watching you before I ever started YouTube. That's what's weird about it.
Well, thank you. That's see, that's the type of thing where out of context would sound very creepy, but
I had been watching you.
but
for
I take it
time.
as a great compliment. So thank you, Jay.
I see a lot of people. Not to cut you off, real quick. A lot of people asking, "Where the heck is Jerry?" Jerry is on location in the Chicago. He's in the Chicago city.
Chicago.
He's doing some work out there. So he is gone this week. He is in the chat, watching, listening, editing. So hey, Jerry.
Can you watch a live stream and edit at the same time?
I can't.
I can't.
No, I can't.
The other last week you guys had Tech Talk, and I saw that it was up, and I was like, no, I need to edit, so I couldn't.
Yeah, I'm the same way. There's oftentimes I'll try and hop in I am apropos gaming stream or something. I'm like, oh, I can listen while I'm editing. I go maybe 15 minutes. I'm like, nope, I gotta mute it or get out of there. I'll never get through the edit.
I know what you mean.
So if you guys have not looked at your sub boxes today, chances are you would not have seen that it is 960 fever today. Launch day is always a little bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
But GTX 960s launched today. Did you do a review, Paul? I haven't even been on YouTube.
I did. I was not. I wasn't the 6 a.m. launch.
Gotcha. Smart move, though.
Yeah.
Because you're not in the group pissing everyone off.
Well, I mean, I have my benchmarking and everything didn't go quite as planned, so
gotcha.
that I had kind of a hiccup to deal with. I gave up at 1 a.m. as far as editing, and because I still had stuff to do, but I was starting to go really slow. So Kyle said he was up till 4 a.m. So that's how I know he got his up.
I don't know
right
I don't know when you guys got your cards, but my benchmarks were done a week ago.
I got a card on Monday. Was the first one that I got, but I didn't have a driver.
You gotcha.
So, yeah,
gotcha.
so
I was pretty fortunate this time around in that my communications for this launch were actually directly with NVIDIA rather than the board partners. Even though I did obviously a board partner review, not a reference review. So I had access to those drivers quite a bit early, which is kind of a downside though, because they often will have a last minute iteration. So then it's this time they didn't, but it's happened before. Gigabyte actually had a last minute BIOS update, which was after the benchmarks I had already done. So, but oh well, it's
can you do
which 960 did you say you did?
I have these right here.
Oh, the EVGAs.
I have the EVGA 960 super clock.
Super clocked.
And then I've got the Zotac.
Okay.
Zotac right here, so I did a little bit of video today, which was covering the Zotac, and I did some benchmarks on it. And then I'm gonna do an SLI video that I'm working on right now.
Yeah.
Where I'm gonna cover a little bit more with the EVGA card. But yeah.
They're an interesting, and I want to talk about this for a moment. I've been looking at a lot of the comments. I was really interested to see what Team Red fans were going to say about this card, considering this is Nvidia's first offering in the $200 range in more than a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was interested to what people were going to say about it, and there was a lot of people saying, at least on my video, asking me why I didn't pit it directly against AMD's cards, and I went, well, here's the problem. I was going to do that, because I have everything from the 250 up to the 290X available here to do benchmark with. The problem was when I started doing pricing, AMD's pricing is still volatile. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
So in that 209 to 229 range, right? The Gigabyte G1 Gaming is the most expensive 960 at 229, with reference being 199 and the EVGA sitting at 209, right? The trying to find something in that range I found 270Xs, 280s, 285s, and 280Xs all within $10 of that sweet spot.
Yeah.
So which card do you pick? If you pick the 270X, then they'll say you're favoring NVIDIA. If you pick the 280X, well, then you're picking what seems to be obviously a more powerful card in terms of raw specs, which then means you have to start comparing the feature sets, right? So I didn't know which card to pit it against, and I finally said, screw it. I'm just going to do straight up 960 only, because I think anyone who might be shopping for a card in that $200 range right now is probably as confused as I was trying to find the right one to go with.
Well, for AMD at least. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, if you can catch like the right sale with a mail-in rebate or something, you can get a screaming deal on like a 280X or something like that.
And that's the frustrating part too, right? The mail-in rebates, because people will say, "Oh, for $20 more, you could have got the 280X," but it's a mail-in rebate. So on the initial investment cost, which is really how you should look at these reviews, in my perspective, then it's like, okay, at what point do you stop saying, okay, for 20 more, for 20 more? Next thing you know, you're 50 more. And it just becomes so subjective. I had to do away with the AMD comparison altogether.
Well, it's funny that you did that, because the AMD comparison was what kind of set me back, because so I have a 280X, a Sapphire, and I haven't really used it very much, but I was going to drop it in, so I was like, all right, I want to run it with updated drivers and all that stuff and get comparison benchmarks. So I had already done the 960 and the 970, and I dropped in the 280X, and like it was acting a little weird. You ever have that thing where it's like, hey, it booted 3 times, it shouldn't have done that, or like,
Yeah,
you know, like it was just a little funny. And then I finally it booted up, so I was like, okay, so it installed the Omega drivers, and then it just it crashed, and then it went to I couldn't boot into Windows anymore, and it was just, and you know, when you're trying to run benchmarks and you have a deadline that you're trying to hit, it's like I couldn't deal with it, so I pulled it out of there, and I was like, I'm going to skip this because evidently the cards got something wrong with it.
Yeah.
But then I think something with the restarts messed with my operating system install. So then even when I went back to
did it prompt you to reactivate
reactivate what?
Windows?
No, it didn't prompt me to reactivate Windows, but
I got that one today.
Even when I switched back to the 960 or the 970, I still couldn't boot. I would get a BIOS, so I get video on screen, I get a BIOS image, but then it wouldn't get into Windows.
Is that the X99 Deluxe?
No, it's the X99 classified EVGA.
Weird. Yeah, I haven't had those issues with mine, but then again, I haven't switched my cards out. I had the problem you're describing though with the Deluxe.
Well, I think it was a combination of the Omega drivers being in the middle of installation at the same time as a blue screen restart at a bad time, and also some other restarts in between while I was trying to do installation stuff. But basically, I got to the point where Windows 8 was like, hey, you're having trouble booting up. Do you want to try some restore stuff? And I've actually never used at least the Windows 8. Give it a
I think we're losing you there, Paul.
marks.
There you are.
So, what was that?
Your connection kind of is fizzling out for a second there.
Oh, yeah, it dropped for a minute. It says it's back now, though. Can you hear me?
Yep. Your bit rate's like 2.
Oh, I don't know why.
2K, not 2 megabit.
That's an important distinction. Well, I guess, okay, well, I should wrap this story up. I did a refresh of Windows, and it was supposed to be non-destructive, and it was non-destructive for the data, but it did erase every program I had installed.
Right, all of your benchmarking suite was
all
gone.
of my benchmarking software, Battlefield 4 and Crysis 3 were both gone, which I couldn't find installed in any other system on the house either, so I had to re-download both of those, and it was just a several hours at least setback throughout the benchmarking. So yeah, I didn't have 280X benchmarks on my video. Yeah, and
I'll be the first one. I'll be the first one to comment if you do put those two against each other to say, Paul, why are you choosing an unfair card against the 960, huh?
Well, because it's the only card I have. I have a 280X and I have a 290X. And then I have some older 7000 series cards.
Did you get to see the NVIDIA press deck on it?
Yeah, I read it.
But did you see their benchmarks? I mean, they only chose the 285. They considered the 285 to be that opposite card.
Yeah. which I mean makes some sense as far as the price point of the 285 goes. When this 960 was launching,
Right.
it was probably the closest in price. I mean, it's also the newer GPU as far as AMD goes. Um,
Yeah,
but
because it replaced the 280, which makes the benchmarks against the 280 non-X version maybe a little bit skewed at the time of recording, considering in say 6 months you might have a hard time finding one since the card was discontinued.
yeah, but it, I mean, ultimately, it's when if you're trying to compare an AMD card to the 960. I mean, I feel like 285 is kind of what you have to go with because the 960, so much of it I think is or at least a lot of what the 900 series brings is the power savings and power improvements,
Right.
and the 285 is the only card in AMD's lineup, or
And then
one of just a few cards that actually has somewhat reasonable power consumption.
right, and then on top of that, DSR, MFAA, all of the rest of GameWorks suite, support. So that I looked at the 960 as being a more future friendly card. I'm not gonna say future proof because it's not, but in terms of new future technologies, I saw the 960 as being better in that sense. But then again, if DX12 launches and it has backwards compatibility on the Hawaii-based GPUs and doesn't require new cards like has always been typical of the DX in the past, then it really kind of makes that a moot point too as well, right? Because then you have support for Mantle and DX12, whereas right now, if you do a benchmark with AMD card, that was the other thing too. Is some titles have Mantle support, some are DX, and then you've got to sit there and play with the APIs and make sure you note it all. And it just was more work than I wanted to really put into that.
Yeah, like kind of including the mantle benchmarks along with everything else is definitely
Yeah.
time consuming, and I mean it's understandable. It's not an AMD launch, so you
Yeah,
know.
but that's always the question everyone asks, though, right? Which AMD card or which NVIDIA card at this price point? Because I try and look at it from the consumer perspective. Because I think as tech reviewers, we get a little jaded at times of what we're interested in looking at in terms of card features versus what a lot of shoppers are looking at.
Hmm.
I think most shoppers they don't care about DSR, they don't care about MFAA, they don't care about Mantle, they care about dollars and average FPS. However they get that FPS, they don't care. That's what they care about. So it's an interesting perspective.
Well, I mean, NVIDIA's response anytime or I'm sorry, AMD's response anytime NVIDIA has come out with something that's new and fresh, and that kind of kicks their existing cards around is to just kind of slash all of their prices,
Yeah.
um, which I mean is a reasonable response. It seems like the value proposition for AMD is often the arguments in favor of going with one of their cards because you can get a lot of bang for the buck, which you
Right.
can.
Right. Because if you look at my review, I even said at the end, I'm like, okay, if there's any takeaway, if there's anything you're going to hear in this video, let it be competition's going to be good this year because now you have price points that are matched on both ends. AMD or Nvidia has now launched pretty much its entire Maxwell line of JM204, right? I mean, okay, there's no 950, but technically the 750 Ti was the first Maxwell card, which probably fits that bill. So
Hmm.
really, the ball's in AMD's court now. How's AMD going to respond? So it's
Well,
an exciting time.
AMD hasn't released a whole lot in 2014. I mean,
That's
they're
why we know we're due,
yeah, I certainly hope so. I
right?
mean,
But
we would get into future speculation there, which I don't even know anything about at this point. So,
I'm shopping for a new camera right now, and well, not a new camera. I'm shopping for a better camera to use as the main camera to so the 70D can become backup. And I mean that's a whole different discussion altogether. But I'm not as camera savvy as I am PC hardware, obviously. So I kind of liken my camera shopping to somebody shopping for new video card, where there's so many freaking options and they all offer something different than the other, and not one card offers everything. That's how I
mm,
feel about cameras right now. So it's easy for me to be empathetic to those who are shopping and don't know. They're a little bit ignorant to what a lot of it means, which is how I feel right now when shopping for cameras. So,
mm,
I've been like pinging and bugging Albert at Tech Syndicate because he's like the camera guru, right?
yeah, I was gonna say so like if someone in your position with cameras were to come to you about ask a question about PCs, what they would hear from you is probably similar to what either of us would hear listening to
Like,
like did you watch the Tech Syndicate video on all the camera stuff that was
I
at
did,
CES?
and I understand most of it, but most people probably heard wah 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 wah.
I like
Spec stuff buttons.
but yeah, like when he's talking about like focal lengths and apertures, I'm like, okay, I get that. But then he's like his breadth of experience with that high end camera stuff is
Right.
really very impressive.
He starts talking about
Yeah,
Super 35 and all that
and
sort of stuff.
and he can throw out a lot of comparisons like to for like the prosumer level stuff to the like red type level Aeroflex level cameras, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, I want to respond to
Anyway.
something real quick. Everyone's telling me, Jay, GH4, GH4, GH4. I was going to buy a GH4. I was all set to order it. I was even all set to order that $600 Metabone speed booster, right? So I can use my Canon glass. But the problem is my favorite lens that I have is an EFS lens, which does not work with Metabones.
E
That 17 to 55 ISUSM is an IS lens, and if you guys don't know, not IS lens, EFS. EFS is actually it's actually more tuned for crop sensor, not full frame. So it's actually slightly different in terms of the distance between the glass and the sensor to try and make up for some of that 1.6 crop. Yeah, probably everyone's hearing blah 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 right as I'm talking. But what that means is the lens that I love the most, and I just paid $900 for, will not work on a GH4, even with a $600 adapter. That killed my purchase of the GH4. Yeah, I'm still within return. I could go return it and buy like maybe the 24 to 70 or some nice L glass or something. But then I'm going to start paying more for the lens, and even Albert himself was like, given the equipment that you have, spending $2,000 plus just for the body and the speed booster is probably not the investment he would make. That was kind of his advice.
Mhm.
So I'm still all for the C100 Mark II when that launches, but that's a $5,500 body.
Well, do you need that much camera?
I want that much low light because I'm really interested in doing more shows and stuff. Now
Okay.
I looked at the Sony A7S, but it's a mirrorless, and I'm in the exact same problem with lens adapter.
And I mean, it's always difficult anytime you start investing in lenses for DSLRs, like the
Yeah.
compatibility, and then even if you can get adapters for them, you have to deal with crop factors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really happy with my little Lumix LX100 that I just got. I feel like I can. I
The
feel,
Mark III.
no. It's the Panasonic Lumix LX100.
Oh, LX. I was thinking RX 100. Sorry.
I don't know. That's the Sony.
Yeah.
It's Panasonic's competitor to that.
Actually,
I-
Jerry bought the RX 100 Mark III on my suggestion to him, which was Austin's suggestion to the world. And I'm interested to see how he likes it. This is his first trip vlogging with it, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, Kyle has one of those too, and I have to say that especially for vlogging, the flip up, being able to flip up the screen on it to
Right.
be able to see what you're pointing at or whatever is very convenient. That's the one thing that I think I miss. But I really like the lens and stuff on the LX100. I mean, I use it for all my CES coverage and stuff. And granted, I was just doing handheld coverage and everything, but I liked how it turned out. It seemed pretty versatile. But yeah, I don't know. It would take a lot for me to like drop 5, 6, 7 grand on a camera body at this point. Like,
But yeah, and I had a pretty long discussion with Canon at CES. Their liaison, their content creator liaison, the guy who I guess is there just to work with content creators, is local, and even offered to bring like all of his glass and the C100 Mark II to this room so I could shoot with it in this room and see how I like it.
nice.
But then I really started thinking about it like, okay, the low light on the C100 Mark II is freakishly amazing. I mean, even at the Canon booth at CES, which is fairly dark, considering it's a photography booth, you'd think they'd want to brighten it up so every time you look through the glass, it looks perfect, right? But it's pretty dark, and the amount of light you could get at low ISO was phenomenal. 1080p, 60 frames per second. The Digic 5 processor, whatever they call it, the dual processors 5. Everything about that Canon It's absolutely amazing. When I asked him, I said, "Do you think Canon will ever support 4K on this body?" And he looked at me and he was like, "Well, technically the image inside the body is 4K, but it's downsampled to 10K ProRes, blah 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 blah." And I went, "But you didn't answer my question." And he says, "I don't think that'll ever happen because that would be undercutting their higher end models." Which is funny because none of their models really offer 4K right now. Canon is way behind the game in terms of 4K. So really, it came down to dropping $5,500 on a body that is not future format friendly. Yeah, I don't shoot 4K now, but maybe I'll want to in a year or two.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Well, you can get amazing resale value on this." And then I was like, "Well, okay, well, all right, I get it. I get your sales spiel." I kind of backburnered the whole idea. I have plenty of equipment fund, right? And I'm not a big spender. I like to save my money. It's not burning a hole in my pocket, but I like equipment. So I think right now is not the right time to buy, personally.
It seems like there's. I mean, if you look at the GH4 and kind of the market that opened up, especially for 4K recording, and
Yeah,
some of the
built in.
competitors, yeah, like I think within the next year, there's going to be even more options for that, and I think even the like $1,000-ish camera bodies.
Well, Sony has $1,000 4K camera now.
Which one?
I don't remember the name of it, but we were looking at it at CES. But it's an entry level 4K. It's about $1,000. But I actually said something I was going to say. I just completely forgot. I hate when that happens.
It's that I was having that earlier.
Yeah, it's like what was
It's a lot more like it gets to you a lot more when you're on a live stream when you're like sitting there talking and you realize like I'm completely lost my train of thought. But it's okay though.
I see a lot of
Cheers.
people. I see a lot of people asking though, like, "Jay, why aren't you shooting in 1080p 60 FPS?" Well, obviously, I can't because the camera doesn't support it. Neither does your camera, right?
Nope. No, it doesn't.
Two, 60 FPS videography is not a big deal. I don't understand why everyone keeps making such a big deal about that. If I was wanting to do slow motion, then I would shoot in 60 FPS and slow it down. But 60 FPS video just is not all it's cracked up to be. I think that's the gamers talking because the gamers are so stuck on 60 FPS.
I think it depends if you have motion. Like for your typical B-roll, like slow panning shots and that sort of thing, I don't think at 60 FPS is that big of a deal.
Right,
But
right.
I think if you have movement going on or that sort of thing, it does smooth things out a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's like anytime you're talking about changing format for somebody who does video production, it's a reasonably big deal because you have to you're dealing with larger file sizes. You're dealing with the possibility that when you go to import stuff, and sort of like when I sit down, there's to like edit or something. There's a certain procedure I go through, and if that doesn't go correctly, like it slows you down,
Right.
and you never want stuff like that eats up more time that you're not expecting.
See, I think the thing that it excites me most about the idea of 4K though is the downsampling and the amount of detail you get, and the fact that you can push in without losing any of that detail.
Yeah, well, I mean, the LX100, that's like it shoots 4K. It can do 4K 30 frames per second, but I was shooting with 1080 at CES, and like a lot of the images, it's because like it's the same sensor on it as the GH4 has, and a lot of the same internal hardware as well as far as the processor and everything goes. So,
Right.
I was really happy with it. I'm planning on using it for Computex as well. Once we get that, hey, are you going to Computex, by the way? Are you shy?
No, not this year. Not at
No?
all. Because I still have the day job.
Day jobs.
I can't keep taking like these week long trips if I want to keep a day job.
I know what you mean.
See, I don't have a day job that was sending me to these trips, Paul.
It's different. I mean, there's give and take.
Oh, I know.
There were a lot of things that were really cool about this CES trip. There were a few things where I was like, oh, I kind of missed that being that way.
Yeah.
Getting reimbursed for taxi cab rides. That was was nice.
I don't even take taxis. Remember, I drive. I don't know why you don't.
It's because I was going with a group.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't all fit. But yeah, I was happy with the CES experience this year though. But yeah, it's definitely different, and Like the weird thing for me was I was kind of like I want to take it easy this year. Like when I was working for Newegg and doing coverage for Newegg, it was we did a lot of videos. We did many videos, and
Oh,
that was a
you
lot
got
of
to
work.
just make whatever you wanted at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I had
So
sponsors, so I had to do coverage. I mean, I had to at least hit a certain number of videos to uh, meet up to my sponsorship obligations. But yeah, I mean, I was able to take it more easy, but I still ended up working just as hard.
yeah, but
And I
you
was
got
like,
to.
why? I couldn't figure out why. And it was
You,
just like, well, because I was at CES and we kept going to different booths.
right.
And like, oh, that's cool. All right, I'm gonna do some coverage of that. And I just kept recording stuff. And then I got back and I was like, I was supposed to do like four shorter videos, and I ended up doing five that got longer and longer as the week got as the week
Yeah.
went on. But yeah,
But you got to experience CES kind of like how I experienced it though for the first time, where there was no one telling me where to go and what to do. Yeah, I mean, I had a couple of videos I had to make, right? Like the Sennheiser booth. I go and I check out their stuff because they're kind enough to send me a lot of wireless equipment. Even though all the wireless equipment that I used this year was actually mine, they provided me with backups, which was good. And you're completely frozen. Are
okay.
you still there? Oh, there you are. Okay.
You were breaking up. Wasn't me.
Interesting. Yeah,
I'm fine.
haven't dropped any frames on my internet here. So I mean that was fun, but what I'm excited about is I made it through CES this year without getting sick or losing my voice. And I felt so bad for you because every single night you like I have no voice, but I'm still going to go to the parties and I'm going to scream to talk to people, and then the next morning I'm going to have less of a voice and I'm going to do it all over again.
I didn't know. No, Tuesday I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go out to any parties Tuesday. I had lunch or had dinner by myself on Tuesday. I was like, I'm at CES. There's all these people, but I ate by myself, so I wouldn't have to talk to anyone. And I edited on Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday, I still went out.
Well, yeah, I kept bumping into you at every party.
I just tried not to talk to people.
I know, right? Yeah, I bumped into you at every
Thursday
party.
night. Thursday night, we shot an episode of The Tech.
I was with you. Did you forget?
Yes, I know. I didn't say remember.
Hey, Jay, you should have been there.
No, but by the end of that night, I was so done. Like I was like I want to go
Yeah.
back, and I was just and people kept arriving and wanting to talk to me or to just extend the experience, and I felt like a jerk having to cut it off.
Yeah.
But
People were asking me why I have no strings on my shock mount. Yes, I do. They're right there. See, I'm wiggling the whole thing around. But anyway, yeah, I took some flack for the tech because some people were like, "Dang, Jay, you look like you're just like whatever. Like you don't even want to be there." What they don't realize is I had just finished my first day on the floor of all day on the floor, and when you do that, you walk like 5-10 miles, right, without
Yeah.
sitting down usually, while working. And then talking to all these companies and trying to set up, reviews and all that stuff so that we can keep content going. And then I went to dinner with EK and Darth Beavis. And,
Oh, yeah.
and that was fun. Then we walked all the way back to our hotel because we went to the SLS, which was just, like maybe a mile walk from the hotel we stayed at. So we just walked there and then walked back. And we had just gotten done walking back to the hotel, and I had just said bye to EK, and they got in their cab, and off they went. And then I get this message from Logan, and he's like, "Hey, here's Davis's number. Give him a call." So I call Davis, and I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Hey, we're doing the tech. Get your ass over here." I'm like, "What? Now? It's like midnight, right?" I'm like, "Now?" He's like, "Yeah, get over here right now." So we make our way all the way over to the Hilton over there, get up there, and then we don't even start shooting for like what, another hour after that.
It was late.
And then I was last, so it was 45 minutes after we started before I even got to be on the program. So it was like approaching 1 a.m. before I even got to start recording with them. And I was so completely blasted in terms of no energy that it was hard for me to even like be coherent when Logan and Davis are joking around. So that's why the joke went over my head when he was like, everyone keeps droning on about it. And I'm like, well, I don't even like drones. I was like, oh crap, really? I didn't even catch it because I was so freaking tired. And then what did everyone do afterwards? They're like, let's go find beer. And I'm like, I'm going back to my hotel. Peace.
Yeah, I left.
I did not stick around because what happened when we went down to the lobby? Who came out of the Eggies? Josh and Steve and,
Oh, yeah.
and all of them. They're like, hey, let's go out. And no, let's not. because I'm really tired.
I love those guys, but I was not happy to see them at that point.
Yeah,
Not
it was like
one bit.
I didn't see. I thought we were doing the tech on Friday morning. That's what Albert had originally told me, or not Albert, but actually Logan said that to me at
Mm.
the MSI party.
The plans changed a few times
I
throughout
noticed.
the week.
I noticed that.
By the
Crazy.
way, my lovely wife is about to return home, and the dog might start barking. I'm waiting so I can mute myself, but I apologize in advance to anyone if
Really? You're on a live stream, Paul. You're expected to have no life. You're expected
I
no noise.
I told her to just stay in her car, but she insists on coming inside.
Stay outside until I text you. Well, I guess this is a good time to go ahead and bring up news for me. I launched new forums today, and there's probably
Nice.
going to be a lot of people in the chat who are like, "What the heck?" I soft launched it earlier today on Twitter and Facebook, and already had 300 and some odd people sign up there. All hit the forums at one time. Fortunately, nothing went down. It's not a dedicated server, so I was like, "Well, this could be good. This could be bad." It's a shared server on a hosting site. And so far so good. But guys, JayzTwoCents.com. If you go there, it's going to bring you to a WordPress site. And I see. Nice mute there. At the top of the screen, you will see forums. And if you click on that, it'll take you to the new and improved forums. And apparently, people have been asking for this for a long time. I launched some forums last year, and they were terrible, absolutely terrible. And so the fact that they've relaunched today was actually really fun. So I'm going to be spending a lot more time at the forums than I'm going to be at, say, the video comments. Now, I'll still check out video comments and stuff, but the video comments are not where I'm going to spend a lot of my energy, considering YouTube comments are already very, very difficult to weed out the trolls versus the real people interested in having a conversation. So head over to the forums, JayzTwoCents.com, click at the top where it says forums, and go and register. Do me a favor, please don't blow up my inbox asking me to be a moderator. Moderators usually don't ask to be moderators. I just want to point that out.
Can I be a moderator, Jay?
Absolutely. Hold on, let me get on that now. Yeah, no, there's a lot of forums there. It's probably going to look a lot like everybody else's forums because, let's face it, we're all in the same industry of tech. So it's going to be the same thing, graphics cards and general discussion. But I think the thing I've actually been spending the most time at in the forums is there's an area that I put in there called community outreach. And I saw that Linus does something like this, and I wanted to do this on my site too, which is a place where anyone can go and post about their channels. If you guys have a Twitch stream or a YouTube channel you want promoted, or maybe someone to come and look at, we all know it's hard to get exposure, so I figured if there's a place there where you can go and post up your channel without annoying people. I know some people have already been subbing to each other down there, so go over there to the community outreach and then post your channels there. There's also a section down in the reviews section where all my YouTube videos are going to go, and front page news. There's also a place there for community reviews, where if you guys have created a review of something, you can post the link to it there. It'll embed the YouTube video right into the post, and you can get people to see your videos right there on the forum. So I just wanted to kind of give back to the community and letting people get seen and exposed, like Paul's Hardware is always exposed, if you know what I'm saying.
Jay, I have a complaint about the forums here.
Oh, is it too red?
I'm only allowed to use British English. I'd like to be able to choose American English.
Well, then it's going to be terrible.
I don't speak British English.
Fractal Josh has just unsubbed me because I copied Linus.
What?
No, it's funny. I actually,
I've just created an account on the JayzTwoCents forum.
I was actually surprised about something. I had some good conversations with Luke when I was at CES. I didn't really get a chance to talk with Linus much, but Luke and I talked for a couple of hours at that EVGA party, and we were talking about that concept of people copying people, and he's like, dude, it's all the same content because it's all the same subject matter. So naturally today when I soft launched the forums, everyone was like, oh my God, it can't even be original, copying Linus tech tips. Even Luke chimed in and was like, it's a forum. What do you expect him to do? I was surprised about that, considering most people like to play the whole you copied game.
Well,
why'd you copy Linus and go self-employed? I mean, what was your reasoning behind copying Linus?
When people ask me that question, I usually like to point out that I'm actually copying Logan because he did it first.
Ooh, burn.
That's,
Yeah, Logan left Tiger Direct, right?
yeah, he left Tiger Direct, so
Yeah.
it's just the natural progression.
But we're all friends in this community, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't have any enemies here, so.
I mean, I'll definitely say that about Linus and a lot of, I mean, pretty much all the other YouTubers I've met,
Yeah.
especially in the tech community, is that I wasn't sure meeting Linus for the first time and interacting with him many years ago, like how he was going to be, like if he was going to treat me as a competitor, as an evil person, since I worked for, you know, a American company and he's a Canadian, and are both retailers that were competitors.
That's
and
what
both covered the same subject matter.
Sorry, I had to
What?
cut you off for a second. I'm like, there's a shit ton of dongers. Is Linus in here? And I scroll up, and there's Linus saying, "Raise your dongers," and we know it's
Oh,
him because
good
he has
Lord.
to check. Why is Linus in here? Huh?
I don't know.
Don't you have your own forums and live stream to deal with, dude?
Well,
Oh, he's
no,
doing market research. That's what he's doing.
I'm glad you cut me off then, because I was about to say something that might have been mildly complimentary to him, and we don't need to inflate his ego anymore.
We don't want that. We don't want that. There was a website that put me on like one of the top 8 YouTubers to check out this year, and so many people were like, "Where's Linus?" I was like, "He doesn't need any more help. Come on, he's already a freaking mogul in his own sense."
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, he's the biggest little guy I know.
Actually, what I want to try to talk Linus into is letting me go up and stay with him so I can go snowboard.
Oh, you were cutting out during all of that, which made it even creepier because now
Oh,
we have
really?
no idea what you wanted to borrow. You wanted to borrow Linus's what?
No, I was saying I want to get him to let me go up and just stay at his house or one of the houses he owns up there where they do tech
Oh,
reviews, so I can go snowboarding.
Gotcha.
I just want to go snowboarding in Canada.
do you want to stay at
need a
one of
place
his?
to crash.
You want to stay at one of his developments?
I've heard he has a chalet.
A chalet.
It's one of those where he parks his Lamborghinis.
Nah, I was impressed until Nvidia and YouTube sent me that McLaren. That was fun.
You got the McLaren. Nice.
Yeah, well, I mean,
That must be-
it was 2015. Lambos were 2014. This is 2015.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the McLaren was nice.
Must be for folks who are up above 200K. What is going on? Linus
it's
is
like-
calling me right now.
Of course, it's take the call. I expect you to take the call.
All right, only because you told me to. Otherwise,
International
that's rude.
phone rates may apply.
Hello. Hello.
This got awkward
Hey,
really quickly.
hey, Linus.
I'm expecting Jerry to call me now.
No, we're not taking callers, but I assume that if you called me in the middle of our live stream, which I've done to you so many times during yours, that you'd at least have something funny to say.
Would he say stop copying him? This got really interesting really quickly. Hearing a one-sided conversation is very awkward.
Should I could put this on. I could put the. Hold on.
I don't know why Linus just doesn't ever come on the show someday.
He's talking. I've forgotten how you do speakerphone.
How does speaker?
I don't think I've ever done speakerphone on Lollipop.
You've just
How the
lost
hell
all
do
of
you
your
do it?
accreditation, Paul. Don't ever do a phone review again. Oh, wait, hold on.
Linus, are you still talking? Yeah. Well, I'm trying to put you on speakerphone.
Hello, Jerry.
Because people.
Hey, how's it going?
Wait.
Hey, we've got some really weird
This is
YouTube
awesome.
inception going on
Jerry
here.
has also just called Jay right now,
Yeah,
so we've
I just wanted to
we've
call
gone
and
from
say I've
2
been over
people
in
to
chat
4
trying to get
on
you
our
guys'
live.
attention for like an hour, and then all of a sudden I see you talking about Linus. It made me
Hold
a
on
little
one
jealous.
Jerry's getting jealous that he's been trying to get our attention in chat for an hour, and then all of a sudden you take Linus's call.
Well, Jerry didn't call me directly.
This got really weird. All of it. I don't know. This just got very strange.
Linus, can you hear me?
This is funny.
Do you
Too bad
see-
Can't put like the cell phone.
I would like.
So
Hold on.
basically, I agree
Linus is
100%
talking.
with all the people on Twitter and all the people that are leaving comments that Jay copied my idea of having a hardware forum, because I think it's fairly obvious if you look at the starting date of LinusTechTips.com that it is actually the first hardware forum
Ever.
God, shut up, Linus.
First
Oh my
hardware forum
God.
ever created, but certainly the first hardware forum ever created by a company that also does.
I'm about ready to unzip my fly and raise my
For
donger.
example,
Hold on.
Forum,
Linus has a good
Another
rant going.
Forum, Tech Report Forum, PC Per Forum, Hardware Canucks Forum. I mean, there's a few things that we have
Paul,
to
can you please tell Overclock.net to stop copying Linus?
But that was not nearly as offensive to me.
I'm going to copy all you guys. I'm going to create my own forum.
Being a retailer and starting your own YouTube channel, which is obviously just, exactly the same thing. I mean, you even called it Paul's
Wow,
Hardware.
Linus went on a pretty good rant, and then like directly slapped Paul in the face. That was on the unseen.
My channel name has my name in it.
Wow. Well, I'm not going to go on a rant, but I'm just saying. Hey, I'm over here working the chat. You guys need to be watching that chat, damn it.
Listen to Linus's rant if you're not.
What I'm actually waiting for is the class action lawsuit, joint action from Linus Media Group and.
All right, I'm gonna hang up the phone because we're getting an echo
together.
All right.
To come at me, but
this would have been so much. This would have been so much easier.
Josh is also trying to call in here.
This would have been so much
calls on the show.
I know, right? This would have been so much easier if we just had a.
Josh can go ahead and call in. I've got real work to do, So, Pete. I'm just messing with you guys. I saw you guys. I saw a tweet that you guys were live streaming, so I figured I'd drop in, get some donger raising going, and then you guys were actually happened to be talking about Jay's forum, and I had obviously Jay will know this. I exchanged direct messages with him over the last couple of days about it. We were kind of laughing about people thinking that it was like a copycat move, and it's just about how ridiculous that was.
Paul, tell him Jay says.
Have a great rest of the show.
He's getting off. I was gonna say, tell him. God forbid that Jay have a place for people to talk together. I do feel him. I can't understand why guys like Hard Forums and Anintech and OC.net and all of them would. I mean, Linus has been so copied over the history of all of the tech forums. I mean, like Tech Report. I mean, Scott. Why would he dare copy Linus? How dare he?
So, the only response I can think of is like far too serious for the actual tone of this conversation. So
yeah, because what's funny? I have to wonder how many people took everything Linus was saying in the first few minutes of that call serious.
Did anyone? I sure hope not.
Yeah. Well, the reality is people think Linus and I don't talk, even though we don't talk a lot. We do talk when it's like, okay, I just want to make sure you understand this and this, and it's like, no, it's funny. People are dumb and whatever. Do you. You know what I mean? But like I said, I got to talk with Luke a lot at CES, and it's nice to realize that we're all kind of friends in this sphere in terms that we're all doing our own thing, but damn it, we all love tech. Therefore, we're all just one big happy family in a creepy way.
That's very true, Jay.
So
words never spoken.
Linus was calling you while Jerry called me, and then Josh called you, and then Josh was texting me. That was really strange.
Josh, anytime Josh sees like more and more people getting in on the action, like it goes from a 2-way to a 3-way, and then suddenly you're looking at a whole.
Suddenly there's a redheaded tree standing in the midst.
Like Josh is there. Josh is right there in the action.
You can't miss the guy.
Yeah, so I mean that's why you gotta love him.
Josh is quite the social butterfly.
He's up for anything.
Well,
I'm just incredibly flattered that Linus called to congratulate me on 100,000 subscribers. I'm really,
dude. Like I said in the beginning, man. I told people I would never hit 10,000, and then if I ever hit 100,000, that it would never ever happen. In fact, Nocturne Kitty. Angie, she was one of the first ones that was like, remember, Jay? Remember when you said it would never happen? You would never hit 100K. Well, I mean, obviously, things happen, and I see a bright future for you, Paul. I see an amazingly bright future.
Thank you.
Like mostly because you have lots of lights on you right now, but it's still a very bright future.
I do. I turned it down as much as I could. It's either like this bright light, or it looks like I'm in a shady parlor.
It's become pretty obvious that a lot of people are going to the forums right now because holy crap, is it slow at the moment.
My words aren't coming this evening.
Your words aren't coming?
No, sometimes I'm more eloquent than others. But
yeah.
No, it was What? So did Jerry say anything important when he called you? Because I heard him talking for a little while.
No, I just find the language you chose funny. Did Jerry say anything important? You're like, guy's never saying anything important.
I find it funny that your immediate response to that question of if Jerry says anything important is just outright laughter. That is.
Jerry, this very second is SMSing me, asking me to congratulate you on your 100K. Jerry just kind of called to get in on the action, because Linus called, and I was like, hey, well, Jerry called me, so he called, and he just wanted to point out that he's been bugging in chat, like trying to get our attention, and then next thing he knows, we're on the phone with Linus, and what the hell, man? This is his show too.
Well, if Jerry called me, I'd pick up.
Jerry's got to be the first person to know that it's really hard to watch that chat. He's got to know that.
Especially because I have it on a completely different computer that's up here.
Yeah.
It's just down here.
So, yeah, anyway, I figured I was probably gonna hammer the site pretty hard by mentioning it. But, yeah, guys, head on over to the forums if you want to. And it's there. It's for you guys to go and chat and interact and have some fun. So, if you guys don't do the forums thing, don't do the forums thing. But I think it's going to be fun. I love forums. I've been on forums for, when the first BBSs came around, when 9600.
You're a BBSer?
I was a BBSer, and I was an ICQer, and I've been doing that crap forever. I mean, I've got what, a 8 or 9 year badge at Hard OCP, but I never got into overclock.net though.
No.
Which is funny because that's kind of like the premier PC building modding forum. I don't know. I think I didn't like the elitism over there.
I'm not a fan of elitism in general.
I agree. I'm the same way.
I don't like ego. I don't like hubris. But I there's a lot of forums that I've been to many times, but I don't know. It's like I think I've created a lot of content video wise, but like as far as writing and participating on forums, I've done a lot less.
But you are going to register at my forums though, right?
I already did. I already did register. I got you? Paul. Yes, I am Paul. What?
So much for continuity across all of the social sphere.
Should I have been PaulsHardware? I could get that too.
You should have. I can change the username for you if you want PaulsHardware. But actually, I better go do it right now before somebody else gets it. Crap. Must move quickly. Okay, Paul, talk about something. Quick. Because this is going to take a minute.
So, how about that Microsoft Windows thing that was happening?
Yeah, Microsoft Windows and things.
Was that something anyone wants to talk about?
I don't know. But
that's the only other thing that's actually tech, hardware, software, whatever, computer related that happened this week. That
I wanna mention that there's a very good chance that I'm going to be heading to PDX LAN.
Ooh.
In Portland, which I was not expecting.
That's cool. What?
Waiting for the page to refresh? Yes, you are now PaulsHardware. I have beaten anyone who was trying to steal that account.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, no, it looks like I might be going to PDX LAN. Still waiting for confirmation on that. As soon as I get confirmation that I have a spot, then I'll be buying a ticket. Getting my bum up there. That'd be fun. I've never been to PDX LAN. I've always heard such amazing things about it. I've always avoided watching coverage of it because I'm disappointed that there's never any LANs happening in Southern California or anywhere near here worth mentioning. And PDX has always been like the ground zero for awesome gaming. 3 solid days of non-stop gaming around the clock. Can you imagine anything better?
That is true. Southern California, we get a lot of conventions, but there's no big LANs that happen.
And we don't have a football team in LA.
We have the Trojans. What the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about real football teams. I'm sure somebody
let's cut this off. Let's cut this off right now.
No, I'm talking about NFL teams, obviously.
Yes. I was going to harken back to the Newegg LAN Fest that they used to have. That was a Southern California event, and that was a pretty cool LAN. I think the last ones they had they switched it to WAN Fest, and it was a virtual event, starting in...
I'm glad it's not still around, because Linus's head would then go into the clouds.
WAN Fest? That is true. That must be where Linus got the name for his show.
No,
Totally copied Newegg.
Weekly analysis and news didn't make sense at all.
Yeah, we've talked enough about Linus on this show. But the Land Fest that Newegg threw is actually one of the first places that I saw my wife for the first time, my future wife, and like I remember that. That's kind of cool.
Jerry feels unloved. Jerry, we love you. We still love you. Just don't bother trying to get my attention in the chat. And my phone is muted, sir. Oh, I'm not going to repeat what he just said.
Jerry said?
Jerry, I'm not repeating that, sir. Hi, Paul's wife. I got the opportunity to say hi to your wife at CES. Which was,
yes.
It's strange that your wife was there and you were there, but yet you guys weren't there together. It was like, I'm sitting there and I'm in the Monoprice booth and I'm kind of like gathering my thoughts on what I'm going to cover and stuff. And she comes over and just is like, hey. I'm like,
yeah, we weren't really broadcasting that because no one was home.
That's a good point.
You know those commercials about like, hey, don't tell people you're going to be so. I was watching those and I was like, yeah, I'm probably a pretty big, like, I'm guilty of that, definitely, being a social media kind of person or whatever.
I'm pooping today and I'm going to be gone for 4 hours if anyone wants to come ransack my place.
That's
pretty much.
Isn't Jerry tweets about that, doesn't he?
But there's always someone at Jerry's house.
Calls it a poop nap.
Oh yeah, his poop nap. Guys, this is not an Audio Technica mic. This is a Monoprice large diaphragm condenser mic. Has no name. Yeah, it is. It has no name. It's pretty and it has a gold ring around it. It actually sounds pretty good too, I think.
Yeah, I need to get me one of those. Anyway.
Where's Jerry? Guys, I've already said Jerry is in Chicago. If you followed his social medias, you would know that. He hopped on a plane, which is very out of character for Jerry. And
does he not fly much?
No, his arms get tired.
That was all I could do for you there.
Somebody told me I'm the definition of a dad joke. And I didn't know what a dad joke was until they showed me the Urban Dictionary of what a dad joke is, and it basically was just that annoying father, and no matter what you do, you're annoying and embarrassing to your kids. So I was like, yep, that's me. That's totally gonna be me.
Yeah.
My daughter's first date's gonna come over and be in my boxers and just walking out and be like, hey, you didn't take my daughter out, huh? Well, I hope you don't mind if I'm in the back seat with y'all. I got my beer. I'm good. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to those days.
I mean, do you think you're like?
I think my daughter's going to be so smart that she's going to scare away all the boys anyway.
Yeah,
boys don't like smart girls.
Well, smart
at the dating age, at the early dating age, like high school, middle school, early college. Like guys aren't into the girls with a brain.
They should be though.
They should be, but let's just face it. As a father, I'm prepared for the dads that are not, or the boys that are not, whatever. Watching 2 streams at the same time, says Geek One. I wonder what the other stream is. Whatever the other stream is, it's the wrong one. I just want to point that out.
What?
Did you just throw a gang sign at your wife?
No, there was like a little moth or something flying around in here. I was shooing it away.
Well, Paul, what is upcoming in your queue here?
For me?
Yes, sir.
What is coming up? Let's see. Got a mouse over there I was going to work on. I got a Myonix mouse.
We're not talking about the thing, right? That's for later.
What thing? That thing. No, we can talk about that.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm happy to talk about that.
I didn't know how finalized your plans were, whether or not you were well enough to talk about it yet.
No, it's pretty finalized. So I did a video before CES, kind of talking about what I have coming up in 2015. So I have first off a 5930K CPU that I need to make more use of, and then I also have an Asus X99 Deluxe motherboard that they had provided that I promised JJ I was going to do a build with. And then when I did the Fractal Define R5, I had asked people what kind of build they wanted to see me doing it, and everyone said do like a crazy over-the-top build. So that's what I'm doing, is a crazy over-the-top X99 water-cooled builds. So it'll be in the Fractal Define R5.
Who's your consultant on the water cooling though?
Jay is my consultant on the water cooling. He is, of course.
That doesn't make any sense. Jay doesn't know shit about water cooling. Jay
knows everything about water cooling. That is why I'm going to him, because people misconceptions about kind of a PC enthusiast I am because I worked at Newegg and I had access to a lot of like, four-way GTX 780 configurations and all that kind of stuff. But like when it comes to what I would personally buy, like I'm actually pretty frugal. So water cooling was never something that I really went into. Like I was interested in it. I always enjoyed looking at really cool water cooling setups, but it never made sense to me financially to invest in a water cooled setup.
And I've always been so the opposite. If I was building a PC, I didn't even start until I had the budget to include water cooling. I've never owned. I won't say never. I have not owned a an air cooled PC since I was 22.
Wow.
And I'm 34. So, and obviously people ask me all the time about reliability and leaking and all that stuff. If that was an issue in the last 12 years, I wouldn't keep doing it. I've never had a system leak on me in 12 years. Whoa! All of a sudden, you went down to like a slideshow.
I did.
You did. You went to a slide. You went to a slideshow for a second there. The motion blur is real.
Motion blur. I'm using the built-in camera on the laptop. Not anything special for it today. I was just a capture card, my 5D Mark II, but I really haven't barely done anything with it, so I gave up on it because I didn't want to be like, we're talking about water cooling.
Yeah.
Yes, very excited about the water cooling. So we're going to do EK. The graphics cards are the things that I was still had not decided on, and we have confirmation that I'm going to be going with Gigabyte. So I actually have 2 Gigabyte GTX 980s. They're G1s. You have at least one of those, right?
No,
Jay?
I have the 970 and the 960.
The 970.
But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, though, the G1 Gaming is actually a reference PCB.
No, it's not.
See, I've heard multiple contradictory information on that, and I didn't think that was the case because I know that EK has a specific SKU for the G1 Gaming.
Yeah.
So no, I don't have one of those cards. I'm really interested to see how they do on water because my SCs, my EVGA SCs, are reference design. So in terms of being an early adopter of the 980s like I have on water, they do not overclock nearly as well as all of these custom PCBs that are out now. So I'm really interested to see how your two-way does.
Yeah, I'm hoping because I know Gigabyte. You're
doing 2, right?
2. I'm doing two-way. So I didn't want you to feel threatened at all because I thought that might hurt my chances of getting you to help me.
You should have just gone straight to 4, dude. You should have just jumped right over the top.
You'd be helping me out with a 4-way configuration, Jay.
Oh, you asking me for 2 more graphics cards?
No. I'm saying you would help me put together a 4-way configuration before you had one.
I've had multiple opportunities to put a 4th card in here, and I've turned them all down.
And which is the same way reason I'm doing 2-way is because I feel it's the most reasonable as far as like power draw and all that kind of stuff.
Although the 980s are amazing on the power draw, my Skunkworks only pulls about 800 watts from the wall at load. So, and that's with all the water cooling and X99 and 3 graphics cards overclock. I mean, Maxwell is so freaking efficient.
Yeah, that's what I really like about it. So, EK just came out with the full cover blocks for the G1 Gaming Gigabyte cards. I'm hoping, like you said, that since it's been now a little bit of time since they came out, since they do binning processes as the GPUs are manufactured, that they'll be getting ones that can achieve higher overclocks.
Can I address something in the chat real quick? I see someone going absolutely bonkers trying to get everyone to stop calling me a dickhole. Guys, anyone who calling me a dickhole, I promise, is actually a fan of the channel because they're not being mean to me. Jerry started this, son of a bitch. One day I started the stream on him while he was in the bathroom. So he came in to sit down at his desk and the stream was already going. He's, "Oh, you're such a dickhole." And then he was like, "Everybody hashtag Jay's a dickhole on Twitter." And it like took off. And then every single week now there's constant Jay's a dickhole hashtag. So everyone who's calling me a dickhole in the chat, they're not being mean. They're actually remembering that episode. So it actually shows me who's been around for a while. But don't get all bent out of shape about that, please. That's actually a term of endearment.
Looks like Jerry is encouraging that.
Oh, of course Jerry is, because I haven't been looking at my phone. Let's see what we got here. No miss. All right. So yeah, I'm actually going to be doing some videos with you though about the water cooling stuff. It'll be over on your channel, so you guys better make sure you're subbed to him because you're not going to see it on my channel. It's going to be on his.
But you said you're gonna do a vlog, right? When you come over.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll do like vloggy type stuff, but the actual build log and any of the design choices and build information, it's all gonna be on Paul's Hardware.
Yeah. So I think Jay's coming over this weekend, and we're gonna kind of go over the EK stuff and kind of pick out what we want to use as far as the blocks and fittings and all that kind of good stuff.
Right.
Actually, the thing we could discuss right now if you want is the tubing, because you do the acrylic, right? The rigid
PETG now or PETG now.
PETG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing will look as clean as solid acrylic that's bent. It will always be cheaper on fittings. It will be cleaner. It will have less likelihood of leaking, no leaching into your tubes, no discoloration of the tubes, no clogging of plasticizer that's made its way into your microfinned blocks. But don't expect to be able to service your system without draining it every single time. That's the drawback to it.
So there's the trade-off there.
So if you're building a system that you just want to put together, have it be a display, or like Skunkworks, even though I use it every day for rendering, it's still kind of a display piece, right? It's sort of a centerpiece of the channel.
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't get the fourth card, because I'm too freaking lazy to tear it all apart, add another block, get the new tubes cut, probably have to add a front radiator because 1560 on 3980s is still at its thermal capacity. So I would have to add all this stuff, and it just was more work than I wanted to do. So if you want to build a system and kind of leave it and maybe force yourself to not keep spending money on upgrades, then acrylic's the perfect solution, because you'll look at that and go, I don't want to do all that work. So you'll just leave it alone for as long as you can.
Yeah, I get the bug like you do as far as working, but for me, like if I have a system and it's set, it's golden, it's all set, all put together, like I can leave that as is. My bug is like building another new system or something like that.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I've got like 5 complete systems right now, and it's like I only use 1.5 of them because I go, I've got this great idea for a build. So I'll get the parts, or I'll put together parts from the review samples that are like filling that closet, and I'm like, I could totally build this rad system, and I build it, and it's like cool, it looks awesome. Like there's a Z97 classified build that I did the gigabyte monstrosity thing on down there. Mm-hmm. It's down there, still completely put together. All I had to do is put a graphics card in there, and there's a high-end gaming rig sitting on the freaking floor. But I look at it like there'll probably be a day where I need this stupid thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're doing more and more like live streaming and stuff like that. Like, and I know there's some pretty complex live streaming configurations you can get to where you like piggyback computers on top of each other that are doing certain things and then capture them into other ones.
Yeah. Do capture card type stuff.
Yeah.
But I do want to mention something right now, considering I just completely snobified myself with all the hardware mentioned. Snobified. There's a reason why you guys need to register on the forums, honestly. That's where I'm going to be doing all my giveaways from now on. The videos, the videos will be obviously put up, hey, we're doing a giveaway. But the winners will be chosen on the forums because it's the easiest to do. In fact, I'm just going to flat out copy LMG on the way they do it, because they have a great system. They'll use random.org to do 2 number generators, a page and a post number. That's the winner. And I was like, oh my God, that's so much easier than me trying to export all the comments and do a spreadsheet and remove the duplicates. It's completely fair. And you guys are going to want to register, because I've been talking about the fact that I have a huge announcement for quite a while. And I'm going to go ahead and just put it out there now, Paul. Do you want to hear what Jay's huge announcement is? I'm
very excited to see Jay's huge announcement.
I'm glad you didn't say see Jay's huge. Okay. I had a 200,000 subscriber giveaway that I've been planning for a while. Unfortunately, I'm 18,000 subscribers late, but better late than never. I'm doing a giveaway, and I have 3 tiers of this giveaway. 2 of them are international, 1 of them is domestic only, unfortunately. So, 3rd place prize is going to be a VisionTech 128 gigabyte SSD, the Pocket SSD, the USB 3.0 SSD stick that I did the review on. 2nd place is going to win a R9 285. 1st place is going to win a Fractal Design R5, a 4770K, a EVGA Z97 for the win, a complete custom EK water loop, 8 gigabytes, possibly more, of DDR3, Cooler Master 1200V power supply, and then a graphics card I have yet to decide on. I'm leaning towards the 290X Matrix, if I can get a block for it. Bottom line is, I'm giving away one hell of a freaking system.
So you said all those parts, so you're going to give away the parts, right? And then they can build it?
That would be easiest to ship it that way.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because, I mean, that's always my... Especially because, like, how do you even ship a water cooling system like that? Like, you can't, right?
Sure,
like,
you can, but most companies have custom cut foam that will fill in all of the cavities of the case.
They do that in there.
Yeah, it's like a soft, non-static foam. Like,
I know, talking to Lee from PC Junkie Mods, and he's like, if he can't drive his systems somewhere to like wherever the event is, yeah, like he won't ship them. Like, yeah. So that is awesome though. That's a really nice giveaway. But I think I actually like the idea of giving away all the parts individually, and then like, depending who wins, if like we had issues with this, like giving away stuff at Newegg back in the day. We'd be like, we have a really cool prize. If we give it away and the right person wins, and they're willing to like take some pictures or do something like that, then that'd be awesome. One of the cars that they gave away, the guy was like super nice, and they like drove the car across the country, and they did a bunch of footage and content with him. So yeah, if you had the right person win, you could have them like send you some clips of them like assembling the system and that sort of thing.
That's the same thing I see all the time. Is people ask me like, Jay, I see you do client builds. How can I get you to build me one? It's like, I only do client builds for people who are local, man. I don't ship the systems. And I'm also not a system integrator. I could spend every spare minute I have building systems if I accepted every single request I get to build them a system. And I was tempted. I even asked a lot of the vendors who are part of this giveaway if they thought I should give away the pieces and let them build it, or if I should build it, sign it, or whatever. Because of course everyone was like, oh my, I've told plenty of people about this on the side, and all of them were like, wow, you should totally build it and sign it and vlog the build so that the winner can be like, hey, look, here's the video of Jay building my computer. But then the shipping, it came down to the shipping. And that's also why
it's such a killer.
That's also why the computer, unfortunately, guys, is only a domestic giveaway because of the cost of shipping. To ship everything I just described, a case, a power supply, the EK water block kit I'm giving away is like 35 pounds by itself because it's so much copper in there, the full custom kit. So I would be shipping 100 pounds at least with all the packing material of all of the parts, and shipping that to Europe or someplace would cost me probably north of $500-600, and that's just
and then
there's no guarantee it'll arrive. They have to pay customs on the thing to receive it.
Yeah,
and then I can't track that it ever made it there. So unless I ship it with someplace, and now those shipping rates I just quoted, by the way, guys, was postal service, which is like the short bus of shipping. If you ship it through like UPS, FedEx, or DHL, I got a quote of $1,000 to get the computer to, say, I think I used Poland as an example because Linus and I did a graphics card giveaway, and it cost me $85 to ship a 4-pound box to Poland to the winner.
Good Lord.
And then they had to pay VAT and customs on it. So it actually cost them like over half what the card was worth to get it out of the post office.
Yeah, so that's the thing with shipping internationally is if you want any sort of guarantee or like insurance or anything like that, then you have to put a declared value of what's inside the package. And then if you have a declared value of a couple $1,000s and it arrives somewhere that has heavy duties or import fees or anything like that, yeah, like I've shipped stuff to Canada and it's arrived and it's like something that costs maybe $200.
Yeah.
And they get there and like, yeah, you owe $75 in duties.
I know. So you give away a $3,000+ system like I just described, they have to pay $1,000+ to get it out. So are they really winning anything, or am I going to get it returned to me in 3 months, 4 months because they weren't able to get it out of customs?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's why big giveaways like that tend to only be domestic only in the U.S. And sorry, guys. I mean, even Canada's kind of out on this one because, like Paul just said, even getting things to Canada have to be declared. So
The only way to get it there without paying those fees is to send it as a gift with like a $50 declared value, which isn't very honest in the first place.
And
it
not
also
to mention
means
risky.
Yeah, and then it also means if anything happens to the package, it's gone. You're going to get $50 back.
Right. And then if you insure it for the proper amount, then obviously they get hit with the full import tax. Yeah. So, and it's just a shitty situation. But yeah, I've been actually collecting these parts for a while now, and I wanted to. One of the reasons why I'm doing this, and it's funny that it took this long, was how I told you earlier how I said I would never get to 100,000 subscribers. I made a promise once on a live stream. It was one of my very first tech talks. I had like 20 viewers. And one of those 20 viewers was either still around or watched the replay or something, because when I hit 100K, I said, when I hit 100K, I'll give away a computer. I'll give away a good gaming computer. And I hit 100K, and I'd forgotten I mentioned that. Somebody tweeted me, hey, Jay, you remember this? And it was a time code of that YouTube video of me going, I'll never hit 100K, and if I ever do, I'll totally give away a gaming computer.
He called you out?
No, he was like, hey, do you remember this? Because he was like, hey, congratulations on 100K. And it was the day I hit 100K. And he tweeted that to me like, hey, look what you get to do. And I was like, oh, crap, I forgot about that. And I wasn't in a financial position to do it at the time. So I started reaching out to different vendors and supporters of the channel and stuff, and have been collecting a lot of these parts. And so they're actually getting my personal 4770K that I purchased and was using, and is an okay overclocker. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that giveaway. So now that the forums are up, that's all I was waiting on to do the announcement for the giveaway. Okay. And there will be official announcements on the channel, and I'm looking to get some other YouTubers in on this as well. So
Jay, since the theme of this show has been copying other people and what they're doing and everything, I would like to make an announcement too.
Oh, go.
Who are you copying? this as much as this seems like copying, this has been something that I had already planned. But since I just hit 100,000 subscribers, and I'm probably going to do a video on this weekend, and then I don't know when the giveaway is going to be. It's probably not going to be till next week because I'm still lining up some final things for it.
Where are you going to copy me, Paul? Where are you going to copy me?
I am going to give away a computer. I am.
But you're going to do it on time.
You do it slightly, just a little bit closer to 100K. Yeah, this is...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so the silent build. I don't know if any of you guys caught my how to build a silent computer video that I did about a month ago. It's got an Antec P100 case, an Antec 650 watt power supply, their Edge series power supply. It's an Asus Z87 Pro motherboard, 4770K. I think it's got 8 gigs of memory, DDR3. And Zotac actually has just agreed to also drop in a GTX 960. So that's going to go in there too.
Nice.
And it's got Windows.
Couldn't go with the 290X Matrix, huh?
I don't have a 290X.
You know what's funny is if I put that card in there, people are going to be like, Jay, this is the card you said you didn't like in the video.
That's true.
I don't know.
You weren't going to use it. I mean, come on.
It's actually been weighing down the shelf over there. I don't know what I'm going to do yet for a graphics card. That's the thing I haven't figured out. I actually wanted to do this one right here, the water-cooled R9 290 that came out of the... yeah, guys, I know the power supply is massively overkill, but when I asked Rajiv what power supply he wanted to provide, he's like, I'll give you a 1200. Okay, it's going to be a little bit overkill. I was thinking about doing this...
exposure on the big ones.
So does PaulsHardware.
Yeah.
So I was going to give away this R9 290, but unfortunately a project is in the works that requires this card because I need a water-cooled card, and it's already water-cooled, so why hit up EK for another block for something when I have this sitting here? But I don't know. I kind of wanted to do an SLI in that system. So whatever. I don't know. The giveaway struggles are real.
It is. You gotta make it, and like... This is another thing that, like, back at Newegg, I always said that whenever we give away systems, I'd always be like, whoever gets this system, like, you don't know who it is. And the chances of whoever gets the system being, like, very high-level computer knowledge is, not that great.
That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, I was wanting to make sure if they get it and they unpackage it and everything, like, they need to be able to just take it out of the box and set it down and plug it in and turn it on, and everything should be good to go. So like...
Yeah.
Well, if I were to work doing Windows installations, and I would do like all the Windows updates on it, and I'd install some basic antivirus and all that kind of thing. Just so that when they got it, like it'd be an out of the box experience, and they wouldn't feel like
I'm tempted.
Man, I won this.
I'm tempted to build it. I really am. And it would cost me a lot more to ship it because there would be special shipping materials, double-walled boxes, and specialized foam, and it would probably cost me $350 to ship it domestically. Once it's water cooled, it's gonna be even heavier. To ship it with like UPS ground will cost me hundreds of dollars. But I almost think it's worth it for that experience of just taking it out of the box. Because if they don't own a system like that, or they've never built a system like that, I'm gonna be overwhelming them immediately. That's the thing that worries me. So
and then you also could potentially then you would maybe feel obligated. You have to do phone calls with them until everything gets up and running and all that kind of stuff, which you might not have as much time to do. If you do pre-build it, then one is that you make a video out of it, obviously, and you show the whole system all put together, which is cool. And then there's always the possibility that whoever wins is local. Yeah. In which case, I'm sure they'd be happy to pick it up in person or something like that.
I'd be very surprised if someone local won. But the nice thing though is if I did do something like the R9, the 290X Matrix, it's already red. The coolant is going to be red in this. It would be easier. It's actually easier to ship because I could ship the graphics card non-installed. That's a lot easier to do a little video on. Here's how you plug in a graphics card if you really need to know, and then. They get a completely built system and ready to go. Oh, that's the other thing. And that's why one of the reasons why the video about the giveaway isn't live yet is because I'm still sourcing SSDs and hard drives like Western Digital. Western Digital drives in there, no problem. But I want there to be SSD, obviously. So working on it, guys. Just give me a little bit more time. I promise it's coming. It's coming before 300K. I promise.
When it finally arrives, it'll be awesome.
When it finally arrives, it'll be obsolete. That's the problem.
It's Z97. There's still Broadwell coming for Z90.
That's why I'm going with the newer motherboard, even though it's a 47.
It's got long legs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm going with the Z97, and even though it's a 4770K, because a little bit future compatibility. So
yeah.
Anyway, don't hate me there, guys. I know you guys didn't know about it till now, and plenty of people know I've been sitting on this for months. But hey. Well, we got 5 minutes left. Paul, is there anything you'd like to say before we get out of here?
No.
For somebody who's done plenty of alt-tab shows, you sure seem like a man of few words tonight.
You're right. I'm not as talkative as I'm tired. This has been a long week. I'm very excited that all you guys are watching this live show. You're all great people, and if I just keep saying positive things about the audience, that's usually my go-to.
Yeah,
I love every single one of you. Thank you for being here.
We love the haters. Just don't comment. We love the haters.
Okay, I have something we can discuss really quick. So what I'm trying to work out right now is how to get to Computex, because I really want to go there this year. I know you said you can't go, but you're talking about PDX LAN. Are there any other events that stand out to you that you would want to go to? What types of events, and I'm why?
Probably PAX, only because I've been invited every year but never experienced it.
Which PAX? Prime?
PAX Prime I hear is like the premier PAX to go to, but PAX East was always the ones I had tickets for.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I never went to PAX East is because the office I work for, my day job, is actually in Cambridge, which is right across the Charles River from Boston.
Okay.
I don't like traveling that close to my headquarters. Because last time that happened, they found out that I was in town, and it ended up being me needing to do work. So
terrible. Exactly.
I don't like traveling closer to my bosses. I like to stay nice telecommuter like I am.
Yeah.
So I actually work at our corporate office, which is here in Southern California, but the software development firm, which is actually a separate company under the corporate umbrella, is in Boston, on the MIT campus right there in Cambridge. So that's why it's always like, what the heck? You live in Southern California, but your office is in Boston. I'm always asked about that all the time. It's a wonderful thing about tech. You can be anywhere and work anywhere if you're in the tech industry like that. So
remote login.
I got Jerry calling. This would be interesting. Hold on. Yes, Mr. Berg.
Hey, I just want to sing the outro.
Oh, he wants to sing the outro. Okay, well, we'll keep you on the phone here for a couple
minutes.
minutes.
Leave me hanging here until you're ready for the outro, and I'll sing it.
All right, Jerry wants to sing the outro, so we will keep him on the phone.
I was hoping I wouldn't have to sing again. I don't think I did very well with the intro.
Yep. Well, guys, hey, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Jerry is out there in Chicago doing super secret stuff at super secret places that he can't talk about ever, or they'll kill him and murder his family. So, Paul, thanks for hanging out tonight.
Thanks for inviting me.
Congratulations on 100K, man. I know that number feels really, really good.
It does. I'm so happy. Thank you, guys.
And the second 100K feels amazing, and from what I hear from Jerry, the third is even better. So, we'll figure that one out.
That third 100K, I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that's the third one. Not the fourth one. The fourth one sucks. It's the third one.
Ungrateful bastards.
But yeah, guys, head on over to JayzTwoCents.com. Register on the forums. Like I said, that's where the giveaway is going to be. The winner will be chosen. If you guys don't want to register, then, well, that sucks. You got to do a little bit of legwork to get an awesome prize like that. Jerry, is there anything you want to say on the phone before we turn this off?
I just want to say it was a wonderful show, and it was very, very easy to fap to.
It's easy to fap to. Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you, since I've never had the position of watching myself live stream live while not live streaming it. Yeah, I know, weird, huh? Jerry, is it actually worth watching?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, you're not just saying that. You're not just saying that because you're the regular.
No, but I will be honest. Paul carried the show. He really did.
Well,
he does, and especially the parts where he loses his words. Then it's riveting.
Those are like the best parts. Like because you're like trying to get a dialogue going like between you and him, and he kind of like stumps you, and then you're like, oh, shit, where do I go with this? It's awesome. Love it.
You can feel
such a great contributor that way.
You can feel the struggle.
Paul, I just wanted to say congratulations, man, on 100K. I have every faith in the world that you're going to surpass Jay in subscribers before he hits 300,000.
Oh, no.
So it's possible.
Keep doing what you're doing.
It's possible it's possible because Paul doesn't engage the trolls like I do. So when I engage the trolls, those people are like, Jay, I thought you were so much more professional than this. I'm out. Peace.
What are you talking about, dude? I trolled trolls like crazy, and all it did was make me grow.
Yeah, but you were funny about it. I was just a dick.
That's Jay's a dickhole. Everybody loves it.
I'm gonna try trolling the trolls instead of growth at all.
Paul's gonna try trolling the trolls. That's not gonna happen. You're gonna be like, Paul's way of trolling the trolls will be, I can tell that you're having a hard day, sir. I really hope your day gets better. Hang in there.
I wish you the best.
Yeah, and he'll be like, nailed it.
Nailed it. Totally owned him. All right, well, Paul, we're going to get out of here again. Congratulations. Go follow Paul on Twitter at PaulHardware, not Paul's Hardware. That Ace Hardware store gets really pissed off. Like,
they're pretty nice about it. Like, I think you're the wrong person.
It's like, oh, yeah, you want internet, Paul. This is a hardware store. But yeah, go and follow Paul on Twitter, Paul Hardware. He's Paul's Hardware on YouTube, 100K, 200K probably next week. And he'll pass Linus in like a month or so. All right, guys, we're going to get on out of here. We're going to roll that outro, and Jerry's going to sing it all the way from Chicago. Here we go. Roll that outro.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tech Talk, and Jerry's in Chicago. That's why he's not on here, but Paul's on here. And Paul has a cute face kind of like Jerry, and he's not as fat, but he's still pretty cute. And he's got 100,000 subs, soon to be 200, and then 300,000, then maybe go to prison. All right, have fun, guys. Till next time.
This wasn't a Jerry video. What is this shit? All right, I got to stop this thing.